Welcome to Unity of Mesa Online. I'm Reverend Kathryn Kellogg, and today I'm joined with Floyd Land, who's leading our meditation, and Dennis Hubert, who's doing our music and has brought several of his original compositions to share with us this morning. We are continuing our study on the intelligent heart, transforming your life through the laws of love, using a text by David and Bruce MacArthur. Today, our theme is returning to wholeness, and we're going to be exploring the law of forgiveness. And what an important piece to be looking at in today's world. Being willing to restore our own personal power by releasing limiting patterns and beliefs and raising that vibrational level of love. And so our affirmation for today is, through forgiveness, I am free. Let's say that together. Through forgiveness, I am free. I invite you now to gently close your eyes, to focus on the breath, and then allow your attention to drop down and to focus on your heart. Breathe in and through your heart and release. With your focus on your heart, bring a picture or a memory of appreciation or of love, of care to your mind. And allow that appreciation to be felt through the heart. Allowing that your inner light to expand and deepen into the heart space. And in that deepening feeling, place those people in your life that you hold dear. And then place the people that are on our prayer list. Spirit knows their names, their needs, their desires. Just allow the idea of the people on the prayer list to abide in your heart space. And then allow that heart space to widen to include people who are in the news, who are facing tough situations. Allow your compassion and care to enfold them. And then place those people whose views or values may be different than yours. And allow that higher vibration of love to enfold them. For as we connect by love with one another, we raise our vibrational level to a higher consciousness. And from that higher consciousness, from that higher understanding, we are all blessed. And so today, we allow our light to shine. For those we love, those we know, those we don't know. We allow love to reign, to transform our lives, and so it is. Amen. Through forgiveness, we are free. Dennis, would you start us with a song?
Let's start with a song I wrote a couple of years ago for Unity, A Story of Love. When I was a child, my daddy used to tell me, life is a struggle, a war you have to fight every day to win. And as I grew up, I heard another mantra. Life is a journey, a trek you take to see what there is to learn. But lately it seems it's more like an adventure. Life is a story, a play we write and star in together on earth. Let's write a story of love. Let's write a story of joy. Let's write a story of peace and understanding, of kindness and compassion, of health and wealth and all the blessings we're dreaming of. Let's write a story of harmony. Let's write a story of love. And now that we know, we're authoring this version. Life is our story. Let's tell the tale of the power of Christ within. Let's tell the story of love. Let's write a story of joy. Let's write a story of peace and understanding, of kindness and compassion, of health and wealth and all the blessings we're dreaming of. Let's write a story of harmony. Let's write a story of love. As we're creating this reality, let's see how wonderful each day can be. Let's write a story of love. Let's write a story of joy. Let's write a story of peace and understanding, of kindness and compassion, of health and wealth and all the blessings we're dreaming of. Let's write a story of harmony. Let's write a story of love. Let's write a story of harmony. Let's write a story of love.
Thank you, Dennis. Now some things for you to know. Join Reverend Judy and I today after service for fellowship, discussion, and some laughs on Zoom in our virtual garden. It's not too late to sign up. Go to our webpage at unityofmesa.org and you will receive a link, but don't wait till the end of the service because we may miss you. If you would like our prayer chaplains to pray for you or someone you love, please go to our website, to the Ministries tab, and there'll be a Unity's Care page. Click on that and you'll find a prayer form request to fill out and other information on how to support you spiritually during this time. And now for an update of our latest survey. The results of the recent survey are in, and here's how they go. Of the 80-some responses we received, 12% of you said you're going to wait until there are no special conditions before coming on site. 46% of you said we're going to wait a little bit longer to see if the downward trend, the infection rate, continues to go downward. And 42% of you said nothing doing, we can't wait. And so that percentage was higher than the last one. So the regathering team and the staff came together and are putting into effect phase 1, which is Sunday, October 11th. We will have an on-site service at 9 a.m. in the garden. Bring your camp chairs, your lawn chairs. There will be chairs provided if you need them. Bring your own water, tea, or coffee and come and be a part of our on-site service, 9 o'clock a.m. Now, we will be following CDC guidelines, so masks will be required, not suggested, required. And even if you wear a face shield, we'll ask that you put a mask underneath it. We ask that you do the 6 feet physical distancing and that there'll be hand sanitizing stations coming and going, so you can sanitize your hands as you come in and as you leave, as you wish. Now, I need to let you know that the services won't be the same as they won't look the same like when we left in March. There'll be no live music, no singing, but there'll be prayer, meditation, lesson, and discussion. So 9 o'clock on-site service in the garden, and then at 10:15, our regular online service for those of you who want to be a part of the community. We will continue our online services. So for more information, keep an eye open for Wednesday's email blast. And if you're not receiving it now, please go to our website at unityofmesa.org and register under contact. And that will give you more information. And we look forward to seeing you 9 a.m. Sunday morning, October 11th. So we continue to offer 5-minute Bible talks with myself on Facebook and YouTube every Friday morning. At 10, usually around 10, can be a little later, plus a group discussion on the 4th Friday of the month. And we also continue to offer the Shanghai meditation with Karen and Tony on Zoom. You'll need to register for the Sangha and the Bible discussion group on our classes page to receive the Zoom links to be a part of that. Parents, we have the weekly children's ministry lessons on our website. To access, a link is given every Wednesday and our weekly email blast. If you're not signed up for that, please go to our webpage under the contact tab and register for the email blast. And every Wednesday you'll receive the link to download a lesson if you'd like to be a part of that. So now, even though we're not physically in our buildings yet, we'll be worshiping outside, we continue to care for our physical location and to do the work of this spiritual community that keeps us connected and going and supported. So we're also grateful for all the ways that you've shown up during this time away, for the prayers, for the meditations, for the affirmations, letting your life shine, and giving through your abundance. Together we can enlighten, empower, and energize one another to uplift this world through a greater expression and experience of God. So in supporting this spiritual community, you can support it directly through online giving using the Give Plus app, or sending a check in the mail. We still do that. Or give indirectly by ordering books through our website, adding Unity Church of the East Valley as your favorite charity for Amazon Smile, or Smile Amazon, and Fry's Rewards. All this information more can be received at our website, unityofmesa.org. And if you're watching on YouTube, all you need to do is click the link in the description. So now it's time to take your gift of love in your hands, your heart, your head, and say with me, please, our offering blessing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Spirit of Abundance. So it is. Now let us prepare for meditation in Floyd Land.
Good morning. Our meditation this morning is based on the affirmation of the day. Through forgiveness, I am free. I'm going to be reading from the Daily Word this morning and quotes from Deepak Chopra. When I seek to lighten the heaviness of my soul and heart, I consider what forgiveness work I may need to do to feel free. Forgiving does not mean condoning another's behavior or pretending that it didn't hurt. Rather, it is a process to facilitate my healing and increase the lightness of my spirit. Forgiveness does not have to involve seeing or speaking to the person I need to forgive. Perhaps that is possible only through the soul-to-soul silent exchange. I rely on divine love and wisdom in me to guide me through my forgiveness practice. Every step I take leads me to free myself of the weight that I have been carrying. I go forward, lighter and ever ready to live, more fully refreshed and invigorated. And from Ephesians 4:32, be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ has forgiven you. Forgiveness is the most important single process that brings peace and harmony to our life. Forgiveness is a healing journey for both the body and soul. As we enter our time for meditation this morning, I would ask that you get comfortable in your chairs there in your home. Find a restful position. Relax your body and let the tensions of the day just flow away. Now gently close your eyes. Take some time to become aware of your breathing. Take a deep cleansing breath in. Hold it. Now release. Breathe in and release. One more time. Breathe in and release. And now focus your awareness on your heart space. Feel the warm sensation of comfort as you draw your breath there. Now gently say to yourself, I become capable of love and forgiveness by giving love and forgiveness. I am capable of love and forgiveness by giving love and forgiveness. I practice attention, which is listening, affection, which is giving, and appreciation, which is noticing the good in others. Attention, affection, and appreciation. With this realization, I am capable of love and forgiveness. Now gently open your eyes. Bring your awareness to this space. And remember as we go through the day, forgiveness is the most important single process that brings us peace and harmony. And so it is.
Here's a song I wrote for today's service, Let It Go. We've all been hurt before, victims of misuse. we've had to close the door, avoiding the abuse. We've all been treated ill, treated like a fool. It's happened to us all. We know just what to do. We just let it go. We lay it down. Let the universe turn it around. We give it up and we know it'll be alright, be alright, if we let it go. We've had our share of loss, disappointment too. We've had our dreams be quashed. We've had our gifts refused. Yet here we are today, enjoying the release we've learned along the way. The key to finding peace, we just let it go. We lay it down. Let the universe turn it around. We give it up and we know it'll be alright, alright, if we let it go. We know holding on to heartaches will keep us bitter, but the freedom of forgiveness tastes so much better. We just let it go. We lay it down. Give the universe a chance to turn it around. We give it up and we know it'll be alright, alright, if we let it go. It'll be alright, alright, if we let it go.
Thank you, Floyd, for that beautiful meditation, and Dennis, your music. I love it. They've said so much about forgiveness and about letting go. And it's timely that we talk about it with all that's going on in the world, with all the disagreements and the hurtful situations and the hateful words and actions taken by others. Forgiveness is that fundamental tenet of our faith. It's fundamental to the raising of the consciousness of the world, to raise that vibratory energy of love. That's what we've been studying, the laws of love, because love transforms, not just changes, but transforms. And as it transforms, our planet evolves to that place of world peace. We keep saying what we want is world peace. Forgiveness is a fundamental part of reaching that goal. You know, I have to be honest, it's been difficult putting this lesson together. And I wonder sometimes it's because there's so much to forgive with what's going on politically in our country and with COVID. looking and doing self-inventory, I came upon a story that probably I've told before, but I'm going to tell again. I was a first-year teacher out in a small town in western Kansas, and they always tell teachers to stay in your school for 2 years before you decide to switch. And at the end of the first year into the second, I knew that it was time for me to find another school. It just wasn't a good fit. And so I went to my principals and I asked them to do letters of reference and put those in my professional folder at my college. And then as the year went on, I thought, well, maybe I'll stay a third year. So I bought myself a new car, came back from Easter break, and one morning received a phone call from my principal saying that the school board had met and they were not going to offer me a next year contract. And he was sorry about that, but that's the way it was. And at that time, a teacher could teach for 2 years and you could be released without any cause up to the third year. And after the third year, you would have to have cause. Anyway, I was so hurt by that. I was so hurt, and I went to talk to the school superintendent, and I told him all the guidelines that hadn't been followed, that I didn't realize I was on probation. I didn't realize there was an issue. My principals hadn't said anything. And, you know, his response was, he said, you know, you could sue us. And I'm thinking, why would I want to sue? I just want out of here. And it was so hurtful to me because I'd never really failed at anything before. And so even though I had wanted out, to be not offered a contract, that wasn't coming from me, that was coming from somebody else. And I know that I wrote a letter. I don't believe I sent it, but I outlined all the things that didn't happen that needed to happen before you could do that. And I held on to that letter. I held on to it for years so that I wouldn't forget how I had been done wrong. Until one year I realized in doing forgiveness work and coming further in my spiritual study was that the only one I was hurting with holding on to that letter was me. And that actually those men had stepped in and done God's work because I wanted out and then backed out of that agreement with Spirit. And so they were following through, and it gave me the reason to leave. And I spent the next year in Montana, and I did retail, and then I substituted. And what I realized is that if you could substitute, you can pretty much do anything you want to in the world. And the next year after that, I got a school position that was the best school position I'd ever had. And so the divine order was working out in it, but I held on to that letter. I held on to that hurt. You know, the law of forgiveness from this book, The Intelligent Heart, says that forgiveness heals and empowers the one who forgives. Forgiveness gives that gift of freedom to be who we really are. And isn't that the truth? Those of us who hold on to the grudges and the resentment, who does that hurt? Who does that harm? It harms those of us who hold it, not the ones that it's directed to. In the book, The Intelligent Heart, it gives that process of the resentment or those limiting patterns and how to release those manifestations or that experience of it. It's saying that the limiting patterns occur daily in our lives, and usually through the interactions with others, right? That the hurts and the grudges and the resentment start building up. And we hurt because we don't realize that we're powerful spiritual beings. We don't stand in our truth. We don't stand in our own power. And so our response to feeling hurt is that perception that we are powerless. And we're subject to hurt by others because they've taken our power away. And so to protect ourselves against that perceived loss of power, We associate our hurt with the person we've been involved with, and we hold the resentment against them, that they are the cause of our hurt. But holding resentment is contrary to our spiritual nature. We are beings of love, and holding on to that becomes very destructive force within us. In fact, it causes us to have health issues, mentally and emotionally and physically, because we're holding in that negativity, we're holding in limitation instead of allowing our true nature to express, which is wholeness and well-being. And what we fail to realize at times is that when we hold a resentment against someone else or something else or against a situation, we forget that part of that resentment is really directed towards ourselves, that our perceived powerlessness is largely what we resent, because we are normally powerful spiritual beings, and to have that perception of being powerless, we resent that. It's like a burr under the saddle. And what we know is that through the process of forgiveness, we can heal that resentment at all different levels. Through the release of that manifestation, through the release of that experience, we can heal and experience that return of personal power. And so forgiveness frees us from the perceptions that enslave and limit us. Forgiveness allows them to be released to where we're no longer carrying that load with us. There was a teacher one time that asked each of her students to bring a plastic bag and a sack of potatoes to school. And for each person they refused to forgive, they were to choose a potato and write that person's name on the potato and put it in the plastic bag. And some of them, as you can imagine, some of their bags became quite heavy, depending on how many people they held resentments against. And then they were told to carry that bag everywhere they went for 1 week, putting it beside the bed at night and in the car seat when driving. But naturally, after a week of being hauled around, the condition of the potatoes deteriorated, and some of them began to get that nasty, smelly slime on it. And so the whole idea is that, do you really want to carry all that around? Do you want to carry that perceived hurt and those perceptions of being powerless around to be smelly and slimy? Or do we want to let go of them? Do we want to release ourselves and free ourselves from that? Because really forgiveness is about freeing ourselves from the human limitations, the human hurts, the human perceptions of powerlessness, and coming into our spiritual divinity, into our true nature, our true spiritual beingness, so that we can fulfill the purpose for why we are here, our divine purpose. Gary Simmons in The Eye of the Storm said that when we feel hurt by someone else's actions, it is because we mistakenly believe that there is something defective or missing in us. Otherwise, we would not be affected by what that person had done. So when we forgive, we reclaim those supposedly inadequate aspects of ourselves. We can reframe the experience in a way that allows us to see ourselves as we were created, whole and complete. Forgiveness removes those inner blocks that we hold that are barriers to loving others as ourselves. And I would say it removes the blocks that keeps us from loving who we are. Because isn't that fundamental, to love ourselves? The Bible verse says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your soul. And the second is like unto that, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So how do we love our neighbor at a level that's higher than what we love ourselves? Forgiveness frees us so that we can free others, and then send love freely to those that we judged as wrong. Because forgiveness isn't reaching, the goal of forgiveness isn't reaching that neutral and different place, but to reach that place of positive, powerful state of love, to be that radiating center of love. And how do we do that when we feel like we're unable to do it for ourselves? Is that we call on that divine assistance to the Christ, to the Spirit within, to assist us to dissolve those barriers of resentment and to be able to send love to the one that we resented, to be able to find that compassion, to see that God self in that person. Sometimes we're afraid to forgive because we're afraid that we'll forget and we'll lose the lesson in it. But forgiveness is really, in freeing the wrong that we hold on, it allows learning to take place. It brings that expanded intelligence to work on the situation. So the law of forgiveness not only heals physically, mentally, emotionally, but it helps us return to the state of wholeness within. It restores our sense of the power that we've given away and return not only to true power, but connect to our true self. And self-forgiveness is what it's about. We begin with love and that acceptance of the self. When we carry guilt around about things that we've done, because there's as many stories of how we need to ask for forgiveness as those who ask forgiveness from us. When we carry that guilt around, it comes from dysfunction or an immaturity or an alienation of self, that we're not in our right minds. We're not in our Christ minds. We're not in our Christ consciousness. But we need to realize that love has the power to heal and transform all those limiting patterns, because anything that we've done is forgivable. Because love doesn't judge. Love doesn't judge us. We do that ourselves. When we say that God is love, not God is loving, God is love. And love does not judge. All of that is what we do at a human level. And so we need to find that compassion, because we all make mistakes, and bring love to ourselves to heal our own hearts. I think it's important in the process of forgiveness, and that to take an inventory, to understand your dysfunction, your immaturity that caused that to happen, and then to have compassion for yourself. Just love you. Start with appreciating all the things that you do right, and the steps that you've made to grow, and the blessings you have, and the opportunities to get back to life. Have compassion and grow through it. You know, forgiveness is a foundational tenet of our faith system. For us, with a basis and a background in Christianity, we look at the Gospel of Matthew in the Lord's Prayer, where it said, "Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors." And depending what faith system you were raised in, sometimes it's forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. A little bit further on, it says, "For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses." And we need to understand that metaphysically, because God does not hold grudges against us. God does not judge us. God is love, and love does not judge. But the Christ within us, if we can't forgive others, then we build up those blocks, those barriers within us, and we can't allow, it's us, we're not allowing the Christ love to forgive us, for the God presence to forgive us. Later on in the book of Matthew, Peter came to Jesus and said, "Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? As many as 7 times? Peter wanted to know, when could we start holding the grudge? And Jesus said to him, "I do not say to you 7 times, but 70 times 7. Forgiveness is an ongoing process. And there are times when you're not ready to forgive. And we just hold that in our hearts, knowing that at some time it will come, but the weight of carrying that is so heavy that we'll be ready to give that up. The Jafalas in the book of the Quest said, "We reach a point where we refuse to let anyone or anything come between us and our awareness of the presence of God, either in ourselves or anyone else, that we refuse to let that come between us and our understanding of that Christ presence within. That there's no one or no thing that can separate us from that compassion, from that unconditional love. to see the Christ in another, to see the Christ within, to see our wholeness, we'll reach that point. And so what is that journey of awareness, that journey of forgiveness? We've been working on that freeze frame exercise of going to our heart. And so the journey of awareness for forgiveness is the same thing. We go to our heart, we go to those core heart feelings of love and appreciation, compassion, so that we can get in touch with the Christ within, to get in touch with our spirit, that pure love. We can do this through prayer, meditation, contemplation, and you don't have to be religious to do that. It's just going within and getting in touch and reconnecting with our understanding of that Christ within. And then as we make that connection, that reconnect our awareness of who we are, then that presence, our Christ divine nature, releases the greater power of the indwelling Christ presence. It releases a higher vibrational rate, a higher intelligence and transformation, which moves then back through our emotional and mental and physical beings, out into the outer and the physical. So we heal not by going in and working through that, but to go straight to the Christ presence, that divine presence within, and then allow that higher vibrational rate to heal as it moves back out into human experience. Forgiveness is a frequency in the heart. You always have that place capable of forgiveness because it's a frequency found in the heart. What is necessary is your love and your desire to release it. Why is forgiveness so important at this time of what we're going through in our nation? It's because each transformation by each individual dissolves the power of limiting ideas over human consciousness and strengthens the patterns of wholeness. What one person can learn and release affects those around him, which affects those around them. What we do can make a difference in our mass consciousness in our nation. And we forgive because we need to understand that the purpose of all experience is to express the divine within us. These universal laws that we are reviewing help us raise our vibrational energy to meet the divine at the level of pure being, to raise that level to the infinite wisdom and unconditional love, to know that we are eternal life with no beginning and no end. Forgiveness heals and empowers the one who forgives. Years later, I found that letter in my stuff. I collect paper. And I read it and I said, you know what? It's time to let this go. It is time to be free, because what I saw as deep hurt and dissatisfaction was truly a blessing and a learning experience, helping me move on to my true purpose. Louis Schmid said, to forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover the prisoner was you. It's time to forgive. In this time of great upheaval, it's time to look at those barriers within us and to release them, to let them go, that we might raise our vibrational level of love and bring about a world of peace, bring about a world of compassion, and free ourselves to be our true nature, our divine being, and to be about the work of why we're here. To forgive empowers and heals the one who forgives. I invite you to participate in that action, that divine release, so that you can express your true nature and be about the true nature, the purpose of why you're here, because you've come as a gift to us. Blessings.
Now I'd like to share a song I wrote for my self-care class, Safe with Myself. I used to beat myself up for every little mix-up I made. I used to call myself names, and pain was the price I paid. I needed someone to say I was worth so much more than I thought. I finally looked deep inside and saw the spark of God that I'd sought. I am safe inside God, where there is only love and peace. I have found my own good. I have found that sweet release. I can treat myself with dignity, for God's Spirit safely held in me, and I am safe wherever Spirit dwells. So I'm safe with myself. I think I figured it out. I can see myself as divine. And I remember to prize this heart and soul I call mine. I am safe inside God, where there is only love and peace. I have found my own good. I have found that sweet release. I can treat myself with dignity, for God's Spirit safely held in me, and I am safe wherever Spirit dwells. So I'm safe with myself. A wise man asked, if I am not for myself, who will be for me when I am for myself? Who am I? I answered, I must be first to be for me, and treat myself like I am God's child. I am safe inside God, where there is only love and peace. I have found my own good. I have found that sweet release. I can treat myself with dignity, for God's Spirit safely held in me, and I am safe wherever Spirit dwells. So I'm safe with myself, and I am safe wherever God dwells. So I'm safe with myself. I'm safe with myself. I'm safe with myself.
Thank you, Dennis and Floyd, for being with us, and thank all of you for allowing your light to shine. Our affirmation for today is, through forgiveness, I am free. May this be your mantra throughout this week as you claim your personal power and go about the work that you're here to do. Please remember this week that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Blessings.